Hey there, hello, this is Lynn, the Maritime Mystic, and in this video, I'm going to be pulling some cards in addition to talking about how to connect to your intuition through artwork, even if you're not an artist. So, there's a story I'd like to tell about something that happened with me and how spirit placed the paint on a piece of canvas to help with my ancestors to be able to come through and to give my father a message. So what I've got here, what I did was I used to do folk art quite a bit. I only do it a little bit now, but I did really enjoy it. So I'm not a fancy painter, although you can see a couple of my pieces behind me here. Um, there's a waterfall for meditation, and there is a um, painting of Mahone Bay view from the three famous Mahone Bay churches. It's the view from the churches instead of the view of the churches, if you've ever heard of that in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. So that painting also had a message that my father came through. And then the painting that I have here was actually a message for him while he was still alive. And so he had told me the story of when he was 5 years old. They lived on an island, and his grandfather was a lighthouse keeper for two lighthouses on an island called Calbeck's Island in the waters of Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. So my father grew up on that island until he was 11. That's when he finally got to go to school because they didn't want him to row to the to school. It was too far. His cousins, however, lived on a neighboring island, and they became international dory racing champions because they rode to school every day because their island was a little closer. So they really got good at what they did. And so, but my father didn't get to go to school till he was 11 years old, and when they moved off of the island. So when he was only 5 years old, he went out in a dory with his grandfather to get bait. And, nobody on the island knew how to swim. You can imagine that. And so what happened was his grandfather fell overboard in the dory, and my father got an oar out to him and was able to pull him to safety. And he saved his grandfather's life. And so his grandfather opened a bank account for him, which he actually still had most of when he met my mother. And the only thing that he had spent any money on was to buy a suit for his grandfather's funeral. So when I did a painting of that, I was like, when he told me that story and he told me, that his grandfather's hat fell off and everything like that, I really didn't know what anybody really looked like at that time. But I was just, because I was doing folk art paintings, and I like doing lighthouses and water scenes because lighthouses are part of my heritage and it's part of where I came from. And so I really wanted to put something on paper. So for some reason, I decided to do a really, it's not a fancy painting, it's just a folk art painting. So folk art or naive art, whatever you want to call it. And so I put it on paper, and this is what it looks like here. This is just on paper canvas. So it's not anything fancy. And let's see if it will focus in on that a little bit for you there. It's a little bit hard to see perhaps, but this is what it basically looks like. And there's his hat floating in the water, and there's my father, a 5-year-old boy, getting an oar out to the man, his grandfather, in the water. So when I took a copy of this into my father, I placed it on something in the living room, and my father, not being a man of a lot of words, and I'll be honest, we didn't get along the best a lot of times, but I kept trying. And so he kept coming out and looking at it. He'd come out of the kitchen and he'd look at the painting, and he'd run back out into the kitchen again. Not run, but hurry back out into the kitchen. He was, I don't know, he was cooking or something. So he kept coming out and looking at it. So I said to him, so does that kind of look like how it happened? And he's Yep. And each thing I asked him, like, was that where the boat was? Is that where the lighthouse was? Is that where the wharf was? All that sort of thing. He said yes to everything. And so, you know, I put a building and a wharf and the lighthouse and in relation to the boat. And so he kind of always, you know, didn't really believe in the things that I believe in, let's say. And you know, I really hope that it helped him to know, you know, because I remember one time he said to me, you know, when you die, that's it. You just go into the ground and that's it, you know. So I was hoping that, you know, when he was passing away or after he passed away, both, that this painting and this mysterious occurrence, like how this, you know, it literally unfolded onto the paper almost on its own. I can tell you, the face of the grandfather, the little boy's hat, like just everything, it literally just happened on the paper by itself. I didn't really, you know, make any big effort to get the face right. It just happened. And the way that it all came out, apparently was fairly accurate. So, you know, I really hope that helped him to understand that there is more. There's something beyond what's right in front of us. And the fact that I feel that it was him that came through that painting, the shape of his face, while I was painting it, and it's still there. You know, I kind of feel like that was his response to me, right or wrong, that's how I feel, to let me know, you know, that he knows now. So what I want to do is just talk a little bit about how we don't even have to know how it happens. You don't have to be a great fancy painter. You can just get it out there simply. When you have a vision and you have a call to put something on paper like that, just go with it, because Spirit is giving you that. And Spirit is going to help guide you through it. And Spirit will sometimes just take over your paintbrush or your pen or your pencil for your writing or painting or whatever it is that you're doing, and it just flows through you. And some people call that channeling, some people call it connecting with Spirit. It doesn't really matter what you call it. It does happen. It's beautiful when it happens, and it can end up being really meaningful to somebody, just like that painting was to my father, to help him, you know, connect and process, you know, the things that were in his past. And so what I did was I pulled some cards to help to support the message that I'm hoping that Spirit is going to help me convey about getting in touch with your intuition. And the first card that came up is the Patience card in reverse. Now I used these from the Energy Oracle deck by Sandra Ann Taylor. These are great cards when you're connecting with energies. So this is the Patience card, and it's in reverse. So like if it was right side up, it would be like, you know, don't be worried, just be patient, don't do anything. But this is talking about peaceful redirection into taking some movement towards, you know, your goals, and it's talking about renewed action, you know, like thinking about things that you might have done and that sort of thing, and talking about being surprised where things might lead you if you just go with the flow, right? And just, you know, pursue the goals and things that you want to do with kind of like an open receptivity, you know, to Spirit is what it talks about. Being patient and flexible, willing to receive in surprising and imaginative ways is how the book words it. So then the next card that we have is this one here, the fourth chakra card, Archangel Raphael. So Archangel Raphael is the healing angel, connected, as you can see here, with the color green, is how most people believe it is. And this card deck puts this angel with the heart chakra, the fourth chakra. And so this means when we're talking about connecting with your intuition and allowing that connection with spirit to flow, is to really just let it flow from your heart, you know. So it's really a heart connection. And the next card that we have is this one here, which is the Door to Spirit. Now the Door to Spirit card, it also came up in reverse. Let me get without the light on it there. It also came out in reverse. And you know, this card is about connecting to spirit, you know, opening up the spirit and just like relaxing and letting go, because like when it's in reverse, it means that you've been too distracted by worldly things and things that you think you're supposed to do and how things are supposed to be. But this card really talks about just relaxing and letting go. And the affirmation that goes with this card, I'm going to share with you from the book. It says, I relax and connect with my spirit's wisdom and power. I live in the peace that my spirit brings, and I know that the world of spirit supports me. So that's the message that's come along with the message that I wanted to give to you today. That is the message that spirit has for you to accompany it. So this is the result of my connection with spirit. One of those times in my life, kind of when I wasn't expecting it, but it's beautiful to just allow it to unfold, because this is something that I have that's lasting, you know, and it's a lasting connection with my father, even though he's on the other side now. And it was a moment that we shared that you can't plan those things, and you can't describe them, and you can't, they're priceless. They're absolutely priceless. So, you know, just allow yourself to connect, like the cards say. Connect. It comes from the heart. So I really hope this helps you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Either send me a message on my YouTube or my personal business page on Facebook or Instagram. And I'm going to be teaching more about these things coming up in the future, so look for that. And also, if you're interested in having a personal reading or helping, if you need some help with, you know, guiding you towards learning how to do these sort of things, or reading about how to connect, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you in whatever way I can. So I wish you many blessings, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.